Greetings guys and welcome back to the channel. My name is Eileo, just in case you don't know that and this is your first video. But anyways, in today's video we have Luka's account. Now his name is Lukakizi, I believe. It's not True Hero Luka, so they're two different people. But it looks like he took a break from the game and he ended up coming back. And yeah, we're going to check out his account, see what he needs to work on, hopefully, because there's no obvious direction of what I'm supposed to be looking at. But I will do my best, boys. So let's go ahead and get this party started. Alright Lucas, so I've went ahead already and checked out your mod box. I've checked out one of the common most offenders of mod boxes, which is Water Purse for number 1. She's always a big offender of mod boxes. I take a look at Fire Arthurs if they usually have those. I'll take a look at your Sea Strikers and stuff of that nature, and your Drakas and stuff like that as well. And everything was pretty much good to go. I saw a lot of Bruiser builds for mons, which is a good idea to have. Just keep in mind as you play the game more, you can figure out, do I really need this attacker with double hunter on a Bruiser build, or am I safe to have them on, double attack and crit rate, or can I actually be adventurous and do attack crit damage if I have really good subs? That's just something to keep in mind. But once again, I have no problems with what you're working with as of right now, and you actually have a nice good stock of mons, it seems like, all around. But let's go over here first to the golems real quick, and I want to see what you're working with for your golems teams, because you did say you were able to do B8, I believe at 58 minutes, not 58 minutes, 58 seconds. So yep, this seems perfectly fine. Draka is a wave clearer, and you also are working on a Dark Mona, I believe. So once your Dark Mona gets up, you can just pop in Dark Mona. You don't even need Sig, or you don't even need any of these. Dark Mona and freaking Fire Draka by themselves is perfectly fine for your B18. And if it's sub 1, and I mean by sub not sub 1 hour, but sub 1 minute, then it works. It works. I don't think you have any of the B7 teams or anything of that nature picked out here, so we're gonna go ahead and pick something out for that as well, because why not? We are here already. You have Wood Anew, which is absolutely phenomenal to have. Dark Mona, whenever you get Dark Mona out here, you could bring in Harley, even though she isn't really a wave clearer, and then you're pretty much free to bring whoever else that you want. I was looking for another wood attacker, but you could always throw in Wood Pip if you want to collect Wood Pip, and that's perfectly fine for your team. But you would already have 3 wave clearers, basically. Anew's not really a wave clearer, but his damage is pretty good. Dark Mona serves as a wave clearer. Harley does have Elemental Edge, I believe, but don't quote me on it. So that would serve as your team right there. You don't need any tanks or healers because your DPS is more than enough, because your mons are Evo 3 and level 60 already. So kudos to you, my boy. Kudos. Let's move on to B9. But anyways, same thing right here. Fire Draka is a wave clearer. You can keep in Dark Harley if you want. Go ahead and pop in your Dark Mona. And let's see if there's anyone else that can help you with wave clearing over here. Doesn't look like it, but it's not a big deal. Yeah, it's not a big deal. Or you could bring anyone that you want, really. Just don't bring anyone with a super long animation like Merlin, because that is a tad bit annoying. And you do have Dark Hohenheim as well. What is her skill kit? Yeah, you can pop her in there. Pop in Dark Mona. Congratulations. B9 is done. B7, B8, and B9 is something that you can also transpose to dragons. I won't go into too much detail about that because I do have dragon videos up. But the general consensus of dragon is just the same as golems. Maybe run in there with all of your wave clearers, and preferably one mon that can do defense down depending on what you're fighting. And if you're dying after that, replace one of your wave clearers with a healer like Fire Cupid for the wood dragon. Who else? I think water, maybe Cura or someone like that. Water Cura. And then for the, what is it? Fire? No, not Fire Dragon. Water Dragon. Water Dragon. You could bring in freaking Hana for some reason. I couldn't think of that. You could bring in Hana, Minicat, preferably someone that can do defense up. But honestly, I think I saw a Dark Cherry in your box. So just bring Dark Cherry for all of them. And if you're having issues with dragons, which you shouldn't at lower levels, you're perfectly good to go. But it already seems like you don't have any problem with dragons, because I've seen quite an awful amount of mons on Siphon sets and Leech sets, which, once again, kudos to you, my boy. But let's go ahead and move over here to B10 real quick. So Draka can stay, of course. we're going basically for the same exact thing that we've done before. Harley is optional here. I actually would rather you just bring in Dark Mona instead, and then hopefully we can get you 2 sappers if you have any at all. You do have light Radis, but I would recommend a light composition for that. And Dark Hohenheim is always a great wave clearer too. You could test that out after you get 2 sappers and either run Dark Mona and Fire Draka, or Fire Draka and Dark Hohenheim, and see how that goes for you. And if your time is good and Draka's fully enhanced, you could just run Draka and then 3 sappers if we can find any sappers. But so far I see Radis, 2 light Radises. There's a Dark Flora, she works for saps. Yuki works for saps. Any wet mihos in chat, dude? No wet mihos? Okay, yeah. So what you could do here is obviously Dark Flora. Dark Pip would work, but I think Dark Pip only has sap on its 5-star skill, which isn't very optimal here. So I would run Dark Flora. If you can get like a wet Miho, wet Yuki, hopefully one day pull a Fire Purse, or if you have a Fire Purse / Water Artemis, run 2 sappers here, and then try it with Dark Mona and then Fire Draka or Dark Hohenheim and Fire Draka and see how that fares out. If it's fairly stable after a couple runs and you feel comfortable with it and no one's dying, of course you can always drop your Dark Hohenheim and just run in with Fire Draka, and congratulations, you're pretty much done with B10. So once again, solid. You have the mons already, dude. Like, it's just a matter of getting those specific ones built up, which you have most of built up, and then getting them up in here and getting it done, dude. Like, you're level 47 and you're on your way to wonderful, wonderful things. Now for B11 advice. B11 is B10, but just on crack, and it's just the light version instead of dark. Sap here is still king. It is still king. You do have Fire Draka. Once again, the 2 wave clearers applies here more than ever. Make sure your gems are in tip-top shape. Make sure all of these mons have like trinkets on them. Make sure that they're skill booked up if they are able to be booked up. Enhancements goes a long way as well. But the main thing here though is having the sappers. So you could bring Dark Pip in here if you want and run Dark Pip and Dark Flora. But my iffy thing about Dark Pip is Battle Rush. If Dark Pip's sap doesn't stick, then Dark Pip is essentially useless until it can get its 5-star skill off again. So I would prefer some more reliable sappers, and if you end up getting Dark Pip, you could try it in there and see how it goes, but I wouldn't rely on it too hard. Like another guy who, if you guys haven't already, check out his channel, Odin's Son, he runs 2 sappers here and then 2 wave clearers. But something has come to my mind. I remember that you have 2 light Radises. So let's go ahead and throw them up here real quick. If I can find the other. So you could run 2 light Radises, depending on how they're built, 2 wave clearers, and that should be a solid B11 team for you. Once again, I would make sure that your gems are as good as possible, or as good as you can make them. And I don't believe the monsters in here are light. I mean, not light, but I don't believe they're dark types. So light Radish shouldn't have any problems of getting killed, unless it's due to trinket issue, or you might have to mess around with their gems a little bit. But I believe an HP gem and crit rate attack should be perfectly fine. I don't run any light Radish for anything though, so I can't comment that with, you know, total confidence. But once again, 2 wave clears, 2 sappers. Now I didn't recommend this to you for B10 for the simple fact that they're going to go for both Radises, and one of them at least is going to die, and that's going to leave you with 1 sapper if you're lucky by the end of the golems, which sucks and I don't recommend. So that's why I thought about other sappers here. But if you can get everyone gemmed up, you could possibly just end up skipping B10, focusing on B7, B8, and B9, and that should make you jump to B11 and be perfectly fine with that. But I think around a minute and a half time for B11 is pretty darn good. It's not perfect, but I hold that to the same standard as B10. If you can get B10 times of a minute and a half to a minute, you are solid. But B11 is definitely the play of the game for all the boys out there wondering what golems they should focus on. The energy cost towards what you get with the gems is undeniable. Undeniable. 1 more energy and no more 4-star gems. that is the play of the game. And it also looks like you started Colossus as well. I'll take a look at your mon box for that after this, but it looks like you started Tower of Chaos and you've done 100 floors, which is great. I'll take a look at your mon box and see what you're working with here. Dark Cherry, Fire Arthur, Dark Hohenheim, and then Fire Draka. So 2 wave clearers, someone that could do defense down and then stun. Okay. Okay. Yeah, the key here really is you could go full DPS. I've seen a couple people do it already, like the guys from Kaizen have done full DPS all the way through. And yeah, me personally, I just run like basically the poverty PvP team, as I like to call it, the tryhard PvP team, where I just run Dark Merlin, 2 light Yukis, and then a light Griffin. But I understand that people might not have all of that, which is perfectly fine. But you can still run Water Xiao Jing, hopefully Fire Arthur if you have a Fire Arthur, if not Water Sura. You can interchange that with Wood Indra, whoever that you have that can do CC. So basically you're going to run a Xiao Jing for resistance down or Water Slime. 2 CCers, aka crowd controllers, aka stunners, shockers, whatever that you have. And then for the last slot, you can either bring in just raw DPS, or if you need another crowd controller or stunner, that's perfectly fine. But that's pretty much all the advice I have to give for Tower of Chaos right now. I am researching that, and I hope to get a video out for that later this month. But yeah, that's pretty much my advice for that. And let's go over here to the Astromon League and see what you're working with. Defense team, what is that? Dark Camilla, whatever the heck you want to call her. Light Nike, Fire Arthur, Purse, Dark Hohenheim, Hidden. You can make some changes with that. I will address that after we check out your mod box. Dark Camilla, she can stay. I think Water Purse can stay, but Light Nike and Fire Arthur are a bit outdated. Fire Arthur isn't bad. I'm not saying he's bad by any means. But at Evo 2.1, he's not going to do his job, and Light Nike, not even super evolved, man, even though I understand that you just came back, still not the play of the game. And then, oh yeah, let me go over here to your offensive team. Dark Hohenheim, Fire Draka, Camilla, and then Purse, perfectly fine. You have healers. Well, you have a healer that can also stall. You have an SP Siphoner. You have Wave Clearer and a Nuker / Wave Clearer-ish. I have no problems with that. My only suggestion in the future is that if you have any problems with anything like this, definitely bring in a Water Sha. Water Sha is recommended me by quite a lot, but that's only if you had switched up your Dark Hohenheim and Fire Draka and brought in mons that do Stun or Shock. But if you're not bringing those in, it does help so that moves aren't resisted. But it's not a game changer, so this right now is perfectly fine in my opinion. I'm sure PvP experts have other insights into this, but for right now, I think it's fine, dude. I think it's fine. And let's go ahead and move on to your mon box so we can wrap this video up. All right, we have your mon box here. Basically, what I'm going to do is kind of split this up. I'm going to focus on first on Colossus / Titan mons, and then we're going to do PvP / clan versus clan mons, and just mons that you need to work on towards the future that will help out with your progression regardless of what content that you do. But Colossus and Titans are pretty much hand in hand with the mons that you use, because I use a lot of Sea Strikers in Colossus that I use from Titans. But let's take a look at your prospecting Fire Titan. Not Fire Titan, but your Wood Titan team. So you have a Wukong there, Fire Amphibian Works, Verde, Shinobi, Incubus, Poseidon, Water Sha. Yeah, you got a solid bunch, man. Even Fire Odin, solid bunch. So I could definitely see you running Wood Colossus as well by using like Wukong, Shinobi. Who else? Poseidon has Weaken. He has Weaken on his 5-star skill though. You could bring in Wukong, Shinobi, Fire Sha, and then someone with SP Siphon, I believe, because we need SP Siphon for Wood Colossus. So Dark Camilla. You have a mon that can do defense down. You have a mon that is a Sea Striker, and then you also have Exposed Weakness. So you could apply defense down on the Wood Colossus. Have not Water Sha, but Fire Sha apply Exposed Weakness, and then have Shinobi go over there, hit him, and boop. Game's over, dude. Game's over. So you do have a solid Colossus team right there for Wood Colossus. And then for Titans, you just need a couple more Sea Strikers like Shinobi, and I think you will be set. I mean, I'm simplifying things, but you're off to a great start. That's all I can say. So if you pull a couple more Fire Sea Strikers, you're on the way. You can replace Verde and Incubus, and that's it, dude. That is it. Moving on, though, to the Fire Titan, you have Harley, which is great. 1 Balrona, a Sig, also a Sparkit, and a a Water Sandwraith, a Hades as well, and another Sig. So yeah, once again, dude, you are pretty much set for your Titans teams, because in case you guys don't know, Titans, you want kind of like the left side to be debuffers slash healers to keep their debuffers alive. And then the right side, you want Sea Strikers slash healers to keep the attackers alive. And you have a nice bunch of both. You just hopefully need to pull a couple more in that 5 Sea Strikers like Balrona. Hopefully get a not a wood Indra. I keep thinking the wrong element. But hopefully get a water Indra in there. And I think you'll be pretty solid for the Water Titan team as well, my dude. Which you actually been helping me with my Titan team, so you definitely know how things go. Let's take a look over here, though. Oh yeah, before I go on, for Fire Colossus, I run Balrona in there. I run like Balrona, Sandwraith, Hades, and whoever else you want. You could just run your Sig in there, so take Water Sandwraith as lead, bring in Balrona, Hades, and bring in Water Sig, and he should be down just like that. If not, you can always bring in your Harley, your Sparkit, Bast, and someone else, and once again, he will be down. So that's 2 Colossuses that you can do, or Colossi that you can do already, dude. Poggers. Let's take a look at your wood team, though. Thor, Zubaji, Merlin, and some freaking alpacas. Yeah, this is probably your weakest team, which we both know. And a wood Garuda. Yeah. Yep. I mean, you know at this point in time. Just basically, hopefully you can get a couple more Sea Strikers here for these guys. And that's it. But you know your freaking Titan stuff. So I can't give advice of something I don't completely understand. You have a light Wild Fang. Okay. Light Banshee. Let's take a look at your dark types. You have plenty of dark nukers. And if you have having plenty of dark nukers, you shouldn't have any problems with either of the light or dark Colossus, because to me they're basically the same thing. I mean, obviously one is light and one is dark, but you know, it's basically the same thing to me. But no real light nukers, which is a bit hard to come by. But even if you had like a light Fennec or a light Sig, dark Colossus is a joke, dude. But if not, since you don't, just run dark attackers in there anyways. But my suggestion for both of those Colossus until you get a light Fennec slash a light Sig would be light Sig, like light cigarette. You get it? You get it? But my advice for you for those is Dark Hohenheim. You can also bring in your Dark Sanzing if you want. Dark Mona, Dark Seether. What I like to run, though, is I like to run something with Bolby as exposed weakness. And then you could bring in Dark Hohenheim as a nuker. You could also bring in your Dark Mona. But I would prefer you get your Sanzing in there. Even though I know her crit rate isn't up right now. But once you get better gems, you can run Dark Bolby, Dark Sanzing, Dark Hohenheim, and then whoever else you want after that. You could even bring in Dark Harley, but Elemental Edge does nothing. Sealer could get some nice hits in, even though he has Elemental Edge as well. And you could always bring in Dark Sea Star as a crit lead for now, just to help boost everyone's crit rate in case it isn't maxed. And right there, dude, you should be able to do 3 out of 4, if not 4 out of 4 Colossus. You already have your Titans teams there as well. No light or dark Sea Strikers at the moment, but you'll get a Dark Sig, which you could turn into Light Sig eventually. And last but not least is just spawns to work on. You're working on your Dark Seether, obviously. I would continue to do that. Dark Sea Star is great, especially with her super evolution. You can go ahead right now if you want and just drop Light Nike, because you're probably not using her. You're already working on your Dark Mona, which is great. Definitely get Dark Bolby to 60 as well, because exposed weakness is very, very helpful, especially when it comes to Colossus. And you can also use her in Titans. Get Flora upped and booked as one of your sappers for B10 if you're going to do the B10 route. If not, just focus on booking up both of your light Radises for B11. I would also work on getting that Sanzing to as max crit as possible, which is always nice to have, especially with her being a nuker. I have already stated about Radishes. You don't have to really worry about Odin. You won't need her. Light Wildfang is someone that you can raise up as well and use her in some fashion of PvP. I can't tell you exactly. You could run her either offensively or defensively, but once you get her up and super evolved and hopefully booked up, that's another party that you could have right there. And you could also work on your Light Banshee and get her up as well, and actually swap out your Fire Draka and your Dark Hohenheim, and you could swap out your Purse and bring in Water Shot if you want to do more of a shock build, or more of a crowd control-ish build. That's a suggestion there as well if Brute Force isn't working for you, but I think Brute Force gets you pretty far, especially with an SP Siphoner. Trying to pick out any other mons here. These guys are already 60. Yeah, most of these guys are already 60. But yeah, I would definitely just work on the mons that I've already presented to you in this video earlier, especially in terms of Colossus. That way you can get more Colossus runs through. Other than that, of course, you can switch your PvP team up a little bit. I almost forgot though. You could also work on getting like a Fire Victoria if you wanted to run her in your defensive team. I believe I saw a Light Miho as well. She does a way better job than your Nike, so I would just replace her with your Nike, like book her up and replace her with Nike right there. That's always a easy fix to do, because with books and her super evolution and her skill change as of recent, she is not better than like Nike, but very, very annoying, and so is Fire Victoria. But other than that, I don't think there's anything that I really missed. Everything looks really good. You have 3 Light Sharks, which is pure awesomeness. And yeah, as long as you continue grinding out some of that energy that I would love to have, focus on getting your golem teams up, focus on getting the mons I mentioned up, you shouldn't have any problems coming hopefully to the end game at some point in time this year, depending on how hard that you grind. And hopefully I will see you in B11. But yeah, that's pretty much it, boys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks again to Lukakizi, even though I'm slaughtering your name once again, for allowing me to review your account, and of course helping your boy out over there in Odin Son's Discord if you boys haven't joined it yet. Thank you so much for the help, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.